Hey everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing a device demo. This was NIP versus Liquid in IEM Cologne 2021. NIP won this series 2-1. This is the third and final decider map, which was Mirage. NIP ended up winning it 16-2. Device went 18-5 on T side, and we're going to take a look at how he did that. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm recording this after I already took a look at it, because at first I was like, okay, let's see how an effective Awper played Mirage when 18-5 really shut him down. But what we end up seeing is that, spoiler alert, Device rifled for like 90% of the game. And he did a really good job. So the greater lesson to be learned here, the TLDR, is that if you're an Awper, you don't need to op all the time. You can rifle if you're playing against a more aggressive team. So don't just click off, watch the rest of the video. There's still some good stuff in there, and thank you. So I've gone ahead and skipped pistol round. Device did get a 3K. They went B. He just waited out. Stewie pushed. It was, pretty simple. I want to look at gun rounds, though, right? Because pistol rounds aren't super consistent. I want to see what he's doing gun rounds. So this is going to be a force buy versus the post-plant purchase. And he's going to go towards mid with a AK. So far, they're just doing a heavy mid-control setup with one guy lurking towards B. They get one guy into con, and they're going to go up cat here with bomb. So good job at using smokes to really lock out the CTs from being able to take peeks. And you can see that the CTs did just go and group up on all the sites, so they're not even fighting for mid control anymore. Even though it's a 4v1, in your matchmaking games, right, everybody would be swinging, they know last guy's coming out, they know exactly where he is. But in this, everybody's just stopping, because look, you got three people who are super low. You've already lost one guy on the round. They know that if they lose more guns in this, it's going to be such a difficult rebuy. Their econ is not going to be as good. So they're really waiting for all of these peaks to occur. Nothing too much happened. The CTs were only on pistol, same as this round, so we'll just quickly skip through it. Here we are. Full buy versus full buy, and Device brings out the op. So he takes the passive peek into connector instead of looking towards window. The smoke comes in. He should be able to get this kill. And they just walk right into his crosshair. After that, he's able to push out. He feels safe. Cat guy gives up his info, that's Stewie, by mollying. Does a decent amount of damage to Device, though, but he's able to just sit second chair. And off of this, the CTs just aren't really peeking anything. I want to see if there's a top con smoke down there. Is, and they have Hampus over here. Actually holding bottom con. So Device is just walking up cat. Rez is behind him holding con in case they run through. And then Hampus is down there also holding connector for the run through. This is a very risky play, but if you work well with your teammates and you guys are all on the same page, walking up cat here when it's a 5v4 this early into the round, not a bad idea. So Device goes down, and nobody's going for the immediate trade. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, so they still secure the round. The T's do, at least. Even though Device then put into more of an entry position, should normally get that pick, but luckily the CTs did play that very well. I think that was Stewie that got the kill on him. I wasn't really paying attention. But now he's back to AK. Because they know that they're on pistol, no reason to buy the op, even though they all had money to really drop them op. And I like this. I like this. You'll see a lot of quote-unquote Awpers in main or intermediate or open, whatever, that they always want the op. Like in this situation, this round, you had two people with, $8,000, $7,000. This guy probably bought something and dropped down to that level of money. So did Rez, right? So anybody could have dropped him an op here, and he said, no, give me the AK. In fact, he actually bought AK for himself, as you can see by the amount of money that he has. Device decided, hey, even though I'm the best opper right now, I can still take AK rounds. And what you see with a lot of these players in ESEA is they don't do that. They feel that they only can op, they only stick to the op, and in these pistol rounds, it sometimes leads to their demise because they can't do the close quarters combat as well. So being able to just say, hey, I can rifle sometimes as well, I think is a really great trait for an Awper to have. So NIP knows that Liquid's on pistols right here. They have 2 players all the way up connector here. Actually, this is the better way. They're all the way up con. They've had no contact so far. So the 2 guys, Palace with bomb and device, they're just sitting back, right? They don't need to get into ramp right here. They don't need to peek out Palace right here. They're waiting for their connector players to get contact. And the fact that they're all the way up here and haven't gotten contact yet leads everybody else to believe that they're about to push ramp. Like the CTs are going to push ramp. And that's what's about to happen. So device playing super passive, just jiggling, gets the one, and he knows that's what he has to do. That's all he has to do. He doesn't really have to peek too much anymore. But now his teammates are kind of going down. There's some trades going back and forth. He knows now he needs to get out to help. He never knifed out here. Never once just knifed out, like started to try to B-hop. Something to take note of because that is something that lower level players would do. And he's just going for a bit risky of a play, but he's trying to secure the round. Again, 2 people can drop him up. He's sticking to the AK. Even against a double op setup. Obviously, he does not know that he's walking into a double op setup, but he has no reason to get off the AK right here. Keep the econ going. He hasn't really been pressured to op. The one round that he did, he got 1 kill, tried to entry with it. He probably would have got the entry a lot easier with an AK, going up cat in the one time that he died. But again, he's just not forced. He's sticking to the AK. And that's, again, not something that you see from self-proclaimed Awpers. Very smart idea here. Usually, you know, you would jiggle ramp at least, but there's an Awper posted right there. Fallen is right there, holding him, waiting for device to peek out. He ends up flashing him off the angle. Molly's behind it, and now he has ramp control. Now, in my previous video, where I talked about defaulting a little bit, and I'm just going to fall off, and now you all use so much utility on the CT side to do something that ended in nothing. You have not secured the site at all. You just have wasted a ton of utility, and you still have over a minute left in the round. This is what I'm talking about. The CTs used a decent amount of utility to get into that ramp control position. All it took was 2 pieces of utility from device. Actually, just the flash did enough. He didn't really have to molly off that corner. Obviously, he didn't know nobody was playing there, but the flash did enough to just completely negate all of that map control that the CTs had. Now at a minute 20 left, they're forced to reposition, and look at this. You got 2 players coming up connector. Fallen is stuck on an island right here. He can't really do too much because Grim went down already. And Fallen goes down. Rez just walks in, gets the easy 2K. Gets the 3K. Rez really popped off this round. It's simple CS. Device isn't really forced to do anything here. And so what I'm getting from this demo is that even though Device, you know, went 18-5 T-side, as far as these first 6 rounds, he hasn't really been forced to do anything. He hasn't been put into any uncomfortable positions. The most uncomfortable position he's been into was the 3 versus 2 against Deeks that he killed Stewie in, and they easily secured the round. So here we go. Another time where Device is in the entry position, and he's just going to keep creeping around this. He knows that he's going to be able to pick a player off, and he does. He knows that they're on pistol as well, so he has the extra little confidence boost of, yeah, they're on pistol, whatever. And he gets to that round. Again, they're not really forcing him to do too much. The CTs I don't know, they're giving NIP a lot of map control, especially when it comes to like connector, and they're just getting pinched, and they can't really do too much. So now NIP going for a B hit. Device still on the AK. Not opping at all. He's done 1 round of opping. You know what? This video title was going to be, you know, how did Device... I was trying to say this video's title was going to be, you know, how was Device such an effective T-side opper? But it's going to change into, unless he, you know, keeps this op and just pops off with it. You don't have to always op as an opper, right? Oppers are allowed to rifle, and it's a good part of your gameplay to be able to seamlessly switch into. Right, so he's sticking with the op. It would have been wild if he actually dropped the op for AK. But he's 11-1 right now. He's going to go for the mid-peak. CTs are on pistol again. I guess they forced last round. Once again, Grim goes down. It's an immediate 5 versus 4, 15 seconds into the round. Device gets Stewie walking out. And it's just playing nice and slow, even though the first guy died. Even though it was a 5 versus 4, and they're like, oh, well, the CTs aren't pistol this round. They already knew that because they're keeping track of the economy. Device doesn't immediately, you know, start to go for some wild peek. right? He's just taking his time, clearing off the angles. Something like a position like this, a lower level player sees that it's clear and immediately pushes forward, right? That's the one thing that, you know, even I struggle with, a lot of players at this level do, is just you see something is clear, and instead of going, okay, let's wait 5 seconds to make sure that it's clear and I didn't get lucky timing, they just assume, oh, well, it must be clear because I just looked there and nobody was there. Let's push up. If he repositions here, there is a chance that NAF does get that kill onto him. And even though it's not going to really make too much of a difference in the round, it's an avoidable death, and Device takes that. Missed an op shot? No wonder he's rifling. He sucks. Even right there, right? He didn't just immediately peek. He waited for his teammates to molly so the guy with the deagle would turn and look. At any other level, any pug I've ever been in, if a player is like, oh, it's a 4 versus 1 and last guy has deagle, everybody is swinging that angle. They're not, okay, can you flash that so he's looking that way so I can just jump in there and kill? It's so patient and it's so perfect. And now he goes for an angle that he has yet to hold. They know that they like to, or they know that the Liquid team likes to double op. So he almost got Stewie on that. Stewie gets a little bit more aggressive and he swings right into that. Now it's a 2 versus 5. This is not really winnable. They're just getting spammed. They're still fighting. They're putting up a decent fight. They haven't gotten any kills yet, but map control-wise, they're doing pretty decent. 1 versus 3 situation. Ooh, unfortunate. The double op actually worked for the CTs in that spot. But he was damn close. He had the right idea. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. Doesn't matter that they got 2 kills and it was now a 2 versus 3. Just playing nice and slow. He knows that he can probably get Stewie with this. So he's just going to wait here. Let's see when he stops waiting. So he's all right. He's still technically waiting. It's a minute 10. So it's been what, 45 seconds into the round? And it's a 4 versus 2 because who the hell? Rez is just running up and killing everybody. Just being able to hold for like 40, 45 seconds right here, that's insane. You're never going to see that in a pug. And it's, you know, just building off of my last video, it's things, the patience just needs to be added into your pug. Even though, you know, your teammates may not be on the same page, the enemies obviously won't be on the same page, right? Just being a little bit more patient it's just going to be such a safer game. Everybody tries to, in pugs, win the game in the first 45, 55 seconds. Nobody's really, you know, unless it's a 1 versus 1 or 2v2, it's not really getting past that 45-second mark left in the round. Right? This is a 4 versus 1. And look at how they're holding. They're waiting for Rez to clear out all the sight, and then they come out. Like, it's just insanity. It's not even Device, you know, having a great game and really carrying. I think to see something like that, you'd have to go and watch a Simple POV. Because Simple's really going to carry. Simple's going to get the opening, secure the rounds and all that. Device is just playing, you know, proper Counter-Strike. The rest of his teammates are as well. He's 14-2. You know, you'd think if this was a pug, some kid's 14-2. Damn, he's doing really well. In my opinion, this is a normal game. Device hasn't been challenged. He's just going for fun peaks right now, trying to catch the CTs off guard. And it's just, I mean, Rez is having a really good game. But he's just playing safe. Lets him get the AK. Who cares? It's 10-1. Who cares? Grim pushed into Palace there because he felt like he had to do something. He felt like he had to continue to open up the round since he did have an AK. And all they did was wait. They just waited for him, got the easy kill on him. Smoking off jungle for your team. Just posting up. 3 versus 3. Not breaking a sweat. He gets smoked off, so he walks through it. No problemo. Normal plays. Missed the shot. And it's like he hasn't been forced to do anything, so he's getting a little cold with it, right? He's not used to having to make those flicks in this specific match because his team's just doing all the work. 5 versus 2. Device is yet to see anybody. 5 versus 1. Let's see, does he get this last kill? No, he dies! He dies! Alright, new title of video is Scoreline Doesn't Matter. It doesn't mean you had a good game. Even though this is still like a really good game by Device, it's like, it doesn't mean that you carried, right? He gets the first entry, he's on the rifle. 1 versus 4 situation, bomb down. He only has 40 HP, so it's probably a loss. He dies in 3, 2, 1. Is Naf going to peek? No, Naf's not going to peek. They'll play safe. There we go. But I mean, like, they win this round, but Device, again, he's rifling. He's rifling. Awpers are allowed to miss shots and just say, hey, I want to rifle this game instead. It's going to be easier for me. Look at this. He's just eating them. And he's just doing it with an AK. Right? He realized that, hey, this match, with the way that they're playing, you know, it's not that Device has to go in and get those, like, entries, right? He doesn't have to go get that first pick in the default because they're playing against Liquid, a more aggressive team, a team that, even though, all right, yes, they're pro, but their aggression does mimic teams that you'll see at our level, right? ESCA level, with the amount of, like, pushes that they're going for and all that, right? It's because he knows that they're going to push into him. He knows that the op isn't really the best thing to have on T side, right? Although, yes, he did get some opening picks with it. It was nice. He didn't need to. He realized that having a rifle would allow him to take those close quarters engagements and really just secure those kills a lot easier than he would if he had op. So that's the point of this video, is just to talk about, you know, how an opper doesn't always need to op, and why there are benefits to an opper dropping the op and just picking up a rifle. And it's one of those, you know, videos that I thought it was going to be about how effective of an opper he was, but instead there's a greater lesson to be learned here of, if you're an opper, you don't always have to op. And you'd be surprised with the amount of people that don't understand that, the amount of people that can only op. And then they, you know, if it comes to a team like this where they're playing aggressive, the opper's kind of screwed. The opper gets lost, right? It's really easy, and it's happened on my teams before, and I've seen it happen on other teams before. So thank you all for watching. If you want your demo reviewed by me, please click the join button on my channel page. There's different options. You can get your full demo reviewed. You can get half a demo reviewed. You can get privately coached by me. You know, there's a lot of different options, so please check that out. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you all next time.